Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. So in today's video we're going to be looking at doing something. We've tried a Zax list in the past, but we're going to try something just a little bit different here. So what we're going to do is this time we're actually going to look at running some cheap units, some efficient units that you might normally see in aggressive decks, and we're going to run them in a controlling deck and see if we can use them to just slow down more aggressive decks on that front as well. So some of the ones we've picked here. The first one is Maximus, so while just a good unit, Maximus will help us, pick off some of the smaller, cheaper units that our opponents might play, and hopefully just keep us alive that little bit longer if we can keep him doing damage, running away, and keeping the game sort of moving with at least some sort of slowing down of the opponent. The next we're looking at, one of the ones I'm most interested in, is Blindsider Eztli. So one of the reasons we want to try Blindsider is that dealing 4 damage with a 2-cost unit is really efficient, and it's going to be a trading unit. There's no situation in which we play Eztli and then it suddenly just survives the rest of the game. If we're doing that, we've already probably won. But playing that in the list means that we can deal some good damage to an early unit, potentially even finish them off with Maximus, and slow down the sort of steady advance of more aggressive lists. On a similar note, we've got Stitchy McPatchy to try and mitigate some of that damage that comes back on the backswing, and then also as a cheap unit, Taria Arsenal is... So I think personally I prefer her to Arya in this sort of list just because the ability to give a ranged unit rapid fire if we need to is also useful. But the reason we've got so many units here with activated abilities, so we've got our Flechette Launcher on the Sentinel, Chuck and Co have got that, Stitchy McPatchy, Taria Arsenal, and on top of that I've got Axel Pyro as well, who I haven't used very often, but actually thinking about it, dealing 2 damage to all units in an area and burning them is a really good way of slowing down aggressive decks. That's something that we're really going to be working on. But the reason we've got all these activated abilities is to make the best use of Blindsider Eztli as well. So in the late game, that's where Zax thrives. We're happy to be spending Cinder multiple times per turn on things that aren't deploying new units if we get enough value out of them. So that's why we've got Florio Lancer, we've got the Sentinel, and we've got Zax himself with the Gravity Disc to sort of bunch things up. So in terms of assists, this list is really looking for things like Cinder Infusion would be a huge deal here. It's slightly awkward with Eztli, but I think we've got enough ways of spending the Cinder to make use of it. Vortex is good here. Ion Storm is just to slow opponents down, because we just need to survive till the late game so that everything we've got here will take over. You might notice we're missing something that's pretty much a staple in most lists, and that is Switchback. So the reason I'm not running Switchback is because I want to be spending our Cinder on AoE effects to basically have that, that one time where if we're behind on the board, we're struggling, if we can launch a Florio Lancer, Bombard, or we can use a Sentinel to just take out multiple units at once, dealing one at a time with Switchback isn't going to be the right answer there. So the only things left to do are create a banner, and it looks as though we've got... I quite like this one still as the only one here. I'm looking forward to unlocking some of these so we can have a lot more sort of interesting selections there as well. So they've each got different character ones. Quite like the look of the Broken Vengeance one there. But for now, we're just going to go with... Let's go with the Methador, because we've got the Methador endgame here. And for shape, I quite like the look of this crated one. I haven't seen it used for ourselves yet. And then this kind of matches it as well. So to me, the signifier is like sort of a spreading out of AoE. The colours, on the other hand. So let's see what we think. I think something a bit lighter for the background. I'm always much more a fan of the lighter colours here. So let's go for... Oh, actually, that's quite a nice vibrant blue there. In fact, I like that as it is. I don't think that needs to change. So that'll be doing this. We'll be going Zax control with Eztli. So Eztli isn't the cornerstone of the list, but it's a part that might play a really useful role. So frankly, I'm quite keen to see how this goes, and let's see what we can work out. We're going into play, so looking at the list, again we've got 1 drop, a couple of 2 drops, and then 1 3 drop. Yeah, 3 2 drops rather. So I think that's enough to keep us sort of the early game going. We need to just make sure we're making early drops. The other options, things like Drum Dancer Tlali or Antios Gauntlet, I don't think are quite where we want to be, because we want things that we don't have to invest too much mana in early on. So that's why Maximus and Taria are like, because while Taria has got the mana sink, it's not necessary to use. And I just think that's a useful thing to trading early on. I do want to look at making sure we make good use out of Broken Vengeance. There's some really interesting things you can do with him versus melee units and moving him into range. But overall, I think he's a really useful unit in terms of just trading off the board and taking out units you otherwise couldn't do. If you find like a 1-attack melee unit, put him in ranged attack, he deals, if a melee ranged attack, he deals 3, they deal 1 back, he deals another 3, deal 1 back, and you can chain it off and kill a unit with Broken Vengeance and still leave them on the battlefield quite often. If we combine that with things like Stitchy McPatchy, I think we're in a good spot there. Well, immediately, I love their artwork. Okay, that's not a good start, that's not a good start, it's an okay start. So here we definitely want to look for Cinder Infusion if we can get it. Orbital Strike is fine and Stim Burst is good, but I think Cinder Infusion is definitely what we need with our hand, and also Corrosive Particles is good with our hand as well. So in most times I'd go for the Bombardment, this time I'm going to go for the Cinder Infusion instead. We did say that's one of the ones we're looking for, but Orbital would be better with a cheap list. Now most importantly, I'm going to look at this beautiful thing. It's almost... Is that actually pearlescent? It looks like it's pearlescent, like the colours seem to be changing as we move. I'm unsure if that's been painted that way or if that's actually just how it is, but Celestian, that is incredible. I love it. Now, it is us first. We don't have anything to play. We kind of just want to stay safe, so we're just going to poke back here and end the turn. I can't get over it. This looks gorgeous. Is that some paint that we haven't unlocked or something, or is that just really well done? I'm trying to tell if the paint actually changes or if it's just my perception of it changing from the angle. I love that. Because I'm looking basically underneath his arm to see if it changes colour as we move. It actually looks the same. I just think that's really cleverly done. I really like that. Anyway, back to the game. So next turn we're going to have 3 Cinder. We're probably not playing Stitchy McPatchy. We're probably going to wait till the following turn when we've got 6. Alright, they just decided not to move. That's fine. So we've got Stitchy. We're just going to end the turn as well. We don't need to move. They're not going to move. They look like they're going to be doing something similar to us. And we get to start the 6 mana turn and potentially just play out Florio Lancer. We want to save the Sentinel until we can figure out where the battleground's going to be. But playing Florio Lancer next turn basically puts them on quite the clock. Yeah, so they're doing the same thing. So we're going to play Florio. We are going to Cinder Infusion here. So this does leave us at the moment with 7 next turn. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to play Stitchy McPatchy with the intention of basically just being efficient, because otherwise we risk losing a bit of value there. And now they probably have to take something, or we're going to just start moving up and maybe even just bombarding things every turn. Yeah, so they're going to have to start taking risks. They're going to play a unit, and this is something that we're going to try our best to take out of the battlefield. So the chances are it's going to be too tough for us to kill in one go. It's going to be a big unit. If it's something like a Mequani Thicket, we might actually be in trouble, because they do have access to 7 Cinder, but it looks here like there's only 2 being hovered over here. I'm not sure if that's how that works or not. Oh, it was 6. Yeah, so they've got their Aegis Sentinel. So it does have armor, and that's fine. Okay, so they've got that to bring Furia down. I think this... Yeah, that's a miss, that's fine. So what I think we probably do here is use our Corrosive Particles and Florio Lancer. So, interestingly enough, Florio Lancer can bombard from a distance and Flechette can't do anything along those lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast the Corrosive Particles over here. I think we... Oh, perfect. We can get a bombard that hits all 3, which is disgusting. Like, here, we're just going to basically take out Furia if we can. So to do so, I'm going to be trying to run Zax in, but there's no good angle there. So I think our best thing to do from here is actually move over this way, take a long shot at Furia. 44% is possible. We got it. We'll move back here this way, and over here with Stitchy McPatchy as well. And that means that their Flechette launcher is almost useless here. And we can just keep bombarding with Florio. So this is fine if they want to get attacks in, but essentially what we're trying to do here is minimise the effectiveness of this. They can use the gravity well to move it if they want, but then that's their whole turn done. Yeah, that's fine. And that might not even get line of sight onto everything. So does it even get... That's going to be most of their turn. They can only hit 1 unit, and it's our captain, which is the least useful for them to hit. There we go. I think they've realised there that... So on that one, this is something that we point out a lot more often. our positioning here was absolutely key. So hiding behind this, they went for a big play, trying to get their flechette launcher to deal multiple damage there. They should have probably been building more units and saved that for a later turn, because now there's not really much that they can do. So from here, we were going to untap, I say untap, start our next turn, gain some cinder. We're still going to just be bombarding every turn we can do, and we can start just taking pot shots with Zax as well. And them knowing that we've got corrosive, it's probably pretty difficult for that to be dealt with as well. So we're going to keep on leveling up with Zax. We've got Florian Lancer up to the next level, and let's keep going. So that was a very quick game. It was, I think at that point it was already won. It was not a, it's not a situation they're going to come back from very easily. I think being passive is fine, and we were passive, they were passive to begin with. That's absolutely fine. Sometimes it's the right thing to do, especially if your opponent's being as well, so you can get the bigger units out as well, like to match theirs. But their choice of the Sentinel made it very difficult for them to get value out of it, because we can move our units and they can't. So us being able to just hide behind that hard cover, it took away 2/3 of their damage output. So we've got another Astra. So I'm going to say it every time, seeing the Astra Founders pack makes me happy. Axel Pyro's good here, Eztli's good here. This is our ideal anti-aggro hand. So if they're playing an aggressive deck, this is absolutely perfect. I think Plink and Disruptor Beam also help us to that end as well. So this could be good. This does work towards the late game, but again, playing it with our hand is what we're going to be trying to do with the assists more often. We've a lot of time been picking what's good for our deck, but we need to pick what's good for our hand, our bridge. So Plink and Disruptor is going to be great here. If they're playing an aggressive Astra deck, we can start plinking down units. If they're playing a passive one, we can just start plinking Astra. So Plink is very useful in this situation. I don't think it's as ridiculous as some people seem to think it is, but who knows? I'm no game designer. That might not be the case. Okay, so here they haven't played anything. We're just going to go for the Plink. And what we're going to do for now, we're going to stay back and we're going to play Maximus probably just over here. Because we want Maximus to be able to... In fact, we can go over here. So we want Maximus to basically be able to get angles on things. And this is a really interesting spot, because now whatever they play here, so we can say move over here, get a shot in, and run back again. And if we've got Plink as well, most of the time... Okay, Tipu is an interesting choice, because Tipu is going to be a... So this to me, they might have... Like, they're probably hoping for something like a Stim Burst, a Vortex, a Disruption, anything like that. The question is, can we get good line of sight on Tipu? Can we get any line of sight on Tipu? Maybe not. Yeah, it looks like we can't actually get any line of sight at all. So what we're going to do, if we can actually just poke Tipu into somewhere we've got a little bit of line of sight onto him. Maybe like... Tell you what, if we do it backwards actually. Come on. There we go. So what if we did it to like here? So now we've got line of sight. One of these should hit. We did get one. Poke Tipu. Max is just going to move back again. And then we're going to bring out Blindsider. Actually, we probably want to move up slightly. And bring out Blindsider Eztli a little bit further forward. So again, this is going to be something that we probably want Eztli to make an attack when we've got a disruption turn. Try and deal with Tipu. But this is again, this is a really good start for us. This is exactly what we want. I probably should have taken a pot shot, actually, come to think of it. Okay, they missed. That is good for us. So does that actually put... I can't tell if that puts us in range or not. Either way, we need to spend 3 Cinder next turn, and we've got a 3 Cinder unit. Okay, so here we're just probably going to try and kill Jailbreak. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 with Blink. So as we need to save him till last. So let's just move as close as we can get here. Get our range attacks out. Okay, 1 miss is fine because we got Blink. Move back here. We still need to stay out of range of other things, but I think moving over here and getting this attack in. Perfect. We're going to play Axel Pyro and again keep Axel back here to get to full power. We don't want the crackback, so we're going to Blink here. So this is, again, Blink has been super efficient for us here, and we're going to get the big attack in. This is what I was talking about playing Eztli. Here we go, yes. So that's just got us another victory. So the reason we're playing Eztli in here is for this early game to basically control the board. They're now in a situation where Tipu's not in range, Astra's not in range to do anything efficient. We've got 3 models on the board. So this may look like a sort of an aggro start, but this is just an efficient start to our deck. I'm really enjoying this. I actually think I've undervalued some of these units before. And like I said, I was having a discussion with a friend about things like Blindsider Eztli and how it's actually efficient in a like a control deck, just because getting that trading value really early on is super powerful. I actually think Eztli is a lot more powerful than I've given it credit for so far. I don't know if other people feel the same way, but I think it's got a lot of uses, especially in games like this. So in a normal video, we've been trying to get into situations where, you know, we play 2 games, maybe 3, and fit those into, say, a half-an-hour video. In this one so far, between good positioning, good early trading, we've actually ended up getting through 2 matches and a sort of a list description in the first 15 minutes. So to me, this is one of my favourite lists so far. And I think one of the things that I've sort of begun to appreciate more is Zax having 2 attack, 2 power is a lot more valuable than I think I've given it credit for as well. So we've got Eztli, Flechette Launcher, and Taurian Guardian. So this is going to be a slightly different approach. Okay, we've got Axial Pyro as well. So here, in this one, Invulnerable and Stun is great. It's a good little combination here. Orbital and Corrosive is so efficient. I think that's hard to pass up, especially given if we just wait 1 turn, we can do them at the same turn. So I think this is what we're going to pick. These are good, but Orbital Corrosive is borderline unfair in some games. And given that we're going to be trying to go for sort of an AoE approach with Aegis Sentinel, Axial Pyro, and just efficiently taking down their units, I think that's how we win. So one of the things that I think we've also been doing is like undervaluing the ability of just trading off for enemy units. You're taking their units off the battlefield. Because if we can do exactly that over and over again, that's just going to pump up our efficiency. So what we're going to look at, next turn we're going to be playing Eztli, the following turn we're going to play Axial Pyro. The interesting thing here is that if we want to sort of just churn, go through each of them, that's absolutely fine. We want Eztli to have access to us having 0 mana, so we actually save the mana here so we can choose to play Taurian Guardian, or we can Axial Pyro and play a Mine. So I'm thinking sort of 3 turns ahead here as to how to get Blindsider Eztli to actually attack the most efficiently, and I think that's the right way of doing it. So we could just go for the approach of playing 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop, which is obviously very efficient, and that means we can play like a Sleeper Mine turn 1. But given that we've got the option of playing the Mine whenever we want to, and we might want to use just Axial Pyro to activate an ability on a turn, I think this is a much more safe way of doing things, and we can still guarantee that Eztli gets the maximum power when we need it. So what they drop here could be interesting, because I think what we want to do, Tauri Arsenal, okay, that's fine. So we can get line of sight on Taria. We can actually get a quite sort of safe line of sight here, and I actually think that's what we want to do, because obviously at this point Eztli can't kill her completely. So we've got a decent shot here. There we go, we got the hit. We could play a Sleeper Mine here and block things, which is an efficient play. We could also play Axial Pyro, which deals with her in 1 turn. I actually still think we want to play Eztli, because Eztli is, again, our powerful trading unit. I'm going to play it back here to hide and see what they get from here. So in this game, we're willing to use our life total as a resource. We're perfectly happy for them to hit us a few times and then us to run away. So here they're making sure they stay out of range of Blindsider Eztli, which is absolutely the right thing to do. But what I'm hoping for is them to play another unit, maybe 2, and we can get this combo off the following turn. If they don't play any other units right now, what I will do is I'll Corrosive Particles and then just try and hit with our Zax to take out Tauri Arsenal on that front. So it looks like they're going to play something here, possibly a 4-drop, so something fairly tough. Maybe a Taurian Guardian would be difficult. Broken Vengeance would be interesting, because I don't think we can actually... No, we could kill Broken Vengeance. They've got their own Eztli. Okay, so that I think is probably a mistake, because we can just quite easily deal with this. So as long as we get that 2 damage in, we're absolutely fine. What we're going to do is we're going to play Taurian Guardian this turn to efficiently use our Cinder. We could use Axial Pyro, which does really well next turn with this actually, and then just place a Sleeper Mine. So in fact, I think that might even be... How much? Because Axial Pyro doesn't have much health, and Taurian Guardian makes it a bit tanky. So let's play Taurian Guardian. get that efficiency in, and we're just going to move straight to the front, and we're going to melee attack here and take that out straight away. And again, this is giving us a situation where we can start really putting the pressure onto them by taking out their other units. So this could be a Vortex, Orbital, that's fine. Orbital we could have played around a little bit, we should have done, because here they can take out either Taurian Guardian or Blindsider Eztli, but there's still the minus to hit here as well. So if they play another unit here, it's absolutely fine. We kind of want them to group up for our combo, but I think we're in a very good position here as well, especially seeing as we're getting 2 melee units near their captain, and their captain doesn't have that same ranged ability. Doesn't have melee ability. So this could be 2 misses. It's probably not. Yeah, we go. It's just dead. But this is, again, leaving us in a spot where we can start trading here. If they play another unit, we can start looking to keep Blindsider safe and just orbital all of this. Yeah, so we're going to actually... Ooh, medical recall. Okay. So I think there's a good chance we still go for this, especially if they don't play anything else this turn. So what can our damage do? So they have armor, so essentially this negates the armor. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So we can kill it. And I think that's what we have to do here. And I think it's just too efficient not to do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get as close as possible for this. So we do need to make sure we spend all of our Cinder to do so. So we're going to be playing Axial Pyro and a Sleeper Mine. And also this needs to hit with 97%. There we go. So we're going to play our Sleeper Mine over here. We're going to play Axial Pyro. Nope, that's Gravity Disc. That would be awful if we played that. Axial Pyro is going to hide back here slightly. You get those AoE angles, which pumps up Eztli. And then what we're also going to do is going to move down here to make it so that there's not an easy line of sight for Zax, and Zax has to move up to hit us. So again, Blindsider Eztli is doing really good value for us here. So we obviously know that they've got Taria Arsenal in hand, so they can play that over here. But I feel like with our ability to gravity well and pull the bomb in, this could hit. That's fine if it hits. Oh yeah, they can do this. This kills us. This is all good. But again, they're using... Ooh, yeah, a couple extra damage. So on this turn, this should blow up and do 2 damage to both of us. So yep, Zax, as usual, getting his bombs to kill his own units. Boom, there goes Eztli. Okay, that was good by them. I'm happy with that. Like, I like seeing opponents make good moves. It's a strange thing, but I actually do very much enjoy it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go for something a little bit different. I'm going to actually move into very close range with them. Get our range attack off. Because what I want to do is play our Aegis Sentinel in a position where they're going to really struggle to hide from it. Because now if they're sort of stuck around here, we're going to be pulling them back around on a regular basis. So our Axial Pyro is coming up, it's going to be hard to get line of sight around there. This Sentinel is going to be hard to kill, and we can basically bring the fight into our direction. So technically we're slightly ahead because we've got 1 extra unit on board. We both need to keep an eye out for bombardment. They can pull us all they want. That is a waste of 2 Cinder in my opinion. Like, because I can just pull it back. So they can try and move out of range, that might work, but either way, I think we're in a decent spot here. Yep, this can be 2 damage, that's fine. And then if... Oh yeah, no, they can kill this, yeah. So we just need to get 1 miss. I think they're doing well here. I think they might be beating us at this point. Interesting. That's very interesting to see. So, we need to look at starting to reinforce here. What is our flechette range? Okay, so we're just out of range at the moment. So what we can do is we'll just reinforce first. We've got Broken Vengeance. That is an excellent pickup. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to... I think we just attack first. Get that damage in. We're going to move the fight back here, because that's where we want to be. We can't play Broken Vengeance yet. So if we just Sleeper Mine here, that makes them have to deal with it. And we're just going to take an extra turn off for now, because there's nothing we can hit with this, but we want to move back behind it to make them come to us. So they've got medical recall available, so there you go, that's what we were hoping. Yep, they can pull the mines back in. Like, this is just a risk you take playing Zax. If they're playing Zax, you're playing Zax, the mines are just absolutely a liability. But we can move the game back here, which is what we want to do. So I think they're playing really well. You can say their count level's way higher than ours is, so they're probably a lot more experienced. Okay, that double miss is really good for us. We could go for an attack here and make them medical recall. So we're going to lose this mine and take 2 more damage, unfortunately. But I think what we're wanting to do is just move the game in our direction. Take our time. We can have 9s in the next turn. We can reinforce. We can play Broken Vengeance. What we're going to do is look at... We've got 43% chance here. If we move over here, there doesn't seem to be much minus, so I think that's exactly what we do.
Still got it.
Yep, much better. Still missed, but that's absolutely fine. Flechette can't hit anything here. So, reinforce.
Nice, huh?
Florio Lancer, that's excellent. Okay. So now they're going to have to come our way no matter what. I kind of wish we had access to a... what's it called? A gravity well here. The problem is we can't place a sleeper mine anywhere that they can't pull us to it. So I think this turn we pass. Next turn, yep, there's their orbital. Again, I don't think there was anywhere I could have placed Florio that wouldn't have been potentially in range. So I think now is the time for us to run away and start trying to figure out how we're going to come back from this. Essentially, I want to find Stitchy and Patchy to start healing our Zax back up. Because this could actually be... If they got some crits, this could be game. I mean, yeah, this can be game here. Oh, gravity. Yeah, no, this is it. We've probably lost. That was a really important crit. Excellent. I enjoyed that game. Do you know what we'll do? We've had 3 really good games, to be honest. Let's try and fit in one more. I'll go for one more quick little game and see how much fun we can have with this. I think that person just outplayed us. I felt like we were in a good spot for a lot of it. I made 2 mistakes playing the mines. I don't think they were right at all. Both of them killed our own units. So we lost our Blindsider Eztli to that and let them do that while keeping Zax safe, which is a big mistake on that front. I think our Flechette launcher was a good play. I think them moving it helped, but I don't think it did that much. I think it just cost them 2 Cinder for not much reason, but I think they had the spare Cinder anyway. But I think, yeah, they did outplay us, and that crit brought the game to an end a lot quicker. I think there was a good chance they could have killed us the following turn, even if they didn't crit, because I think we weren't in that strong of a spot, but we did have Orbital to potentially take out Atari Arsenal. Okay, let's see what we get. I'm surprised we lost that previous one, but they did play better than us, so that's not something I'm upset about losing. Okay, another great hand. So in this one, because we've got Eztli as well, I'm almost tempted to look at Nano Shield or Stimburst and Ion Storm. I think I'm going to try... Vortex Disruptor also works really well. Let's go Vortex Disruptor. It's a fun combo. And we're going to try and push up really early with our Maximus. So again, the standard spot for Maximus, in my opinion, is just right behind here. Makes him hard to hit. Gives us a very good option on taking people out next turn, especially with Vortex and Stimburst. If they go for an aggressive start, we've got 4 damage guaranteed on almost anything that they play if they play an early model. So obviously they have a Maximus as well. If they have that, we take him down to 2. 50-50, absolutely fine. And what are they playing? Because it's also with our sort of mobility, especially with Vortex and Disruptor, we can keep them away from us with 1 unit and keep another one closer. Is that? That is Maximus, yeah.
Just kidding. I've got plans.
So I think we actually save our pull with Maximus until the next... Save our Vortex and Disruptor Beam until the next time we need to use it so that we can get Maximus out and cover. Okay, that worked out exactly average. Now, have we got... We haven't got an angle from this side, so let's just go up here and get the angle here. 70%. Okay, those were a few misses there, which is pretty awkward, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to play Eztli over here to make it difficult for them to get in range with these. And then next turn we need to spend 3. We've got Atari Arsenal and we've got our Sleeper Mine ability. So I think we're seeing a lot of Zax today, which is interesting. I don't think they're prepared for the double movement. So this is fine, we're kind of okay with this. Because what we're going to try and do is basically get Eztli in range to one-shot something, possibly Maximus. Yeah, I think they have to try and go for the Eztli hit here because they don't have an angle. Okay. So, honestly, I think we can move halfway across the map. I mean, Vortex is huge, Disrupt is huge. Is that Fury? Target Arsenal. Okay, so they're doing the same sort of thing as us.
Oh, I forgot my lucky cravat.
So what I'm going to do here, I actually think we maybe just hold off a turn and just sort of hide back here with Blindsider Eztli, but I'm going to leave that till last so we know for absolute certain. So I'm going to move over here first and try and get our big shots off. Make sure we get those guaranteed and then run away again. So Zax, we're just going to come over here and then I think we just vortex them in together to get the guaranteed kill on Maximus. Maximus is a difficult person to deal with. So getting this off, super valuable. And then we can play our Target Arsenal. We can choose where we go, but I think over here is safest. And once again, we're starting to control the ward here. So with Eztli being able to move so far and the Gravity Disc available, so we're going to have 5 Cinder next turn, we can reinforce and Gravity Disc to get ourselves down to 0. So that's something I'm trying to keep track of all the time, is how to use Eztli efficiently. But what we can do... Yeah, so if they're playing this over here, we're probably just going to end up moving towards them with Eztli, and that's fine. Do they have a good angle here? I think that was possibly a bit of a risk. If they don't play... Oh, they've only got 1 Cinder. Oh, that hitting was bonkers. But fair enough. So there's no way we can get in range over here. So what I want to do is just push them towards us a little bit further and get us some easier shots coming in. So for instance, Maximus is coming first. Get shooting over here. And then we're actually gonna save Maximus's shooting. Taria, let's see what we draw first. Okay, so we can't do anything with Broken Vengeance yet, so we are going to seize initiative onto Zax, because Zax gets slightly closer. Move over here, get our range shots off. This could potentially kill him. Yeah, it does, which then puts Taria free to come this way and take a shot onto their Zax. Come on. There we go, excellent. And our Blindsider Eztli is going to use his movement to get as far into sort of the dense cover kind of things as we can. And this means Maximus can move this way. So they're now pretty much tucked into a corner. We've got nothing left to move. We've got 3 crew on the battlefield. They've got none. So I'm fine with them trying to take a few shots here and there. At this point, we're looking to trade our units for their units. So, okay, Orbital, that's fine. They've still only got 5 Cinder to play. They need to hide. We've got Maximus who's coming around here, Eztli who can probably get onto anything, especially with a Vortex. So whatever they play here is probably what we trade Eztli for, and then we're playing Broken Vengeance down as well. That is Taurian Guardian. Okay, so Taurian's one of the ones that makes this difficult, because they have got that reduced range. So what we actually want to do is see if we can pull them apart from each other. So if we can pull Taurian up here. So that does take it off of Zax. Unfortunately, I don't think Taurian Guardian should get this unless they already have unless they have a target to hit with it. But I think the best thing to do is try and hit Taurian Guardian from here. Got a couple of damage. Maximus is best off back here. Again, 28% seems really low. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move to here to get a higher percentage. Okay, we got the miss. And I'm going to place the Sleeper Mine over here to make their Zax have harder movement. Then we're going to play Broken Vengeance, who's going to come... How many toughness does he have? 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They don't have a means of actually doing this unless they blow up our own thing. So let's go... Let's go here with Broken Vengeance, and then let's try and get Eztli to just poke this and see if we can get the 4 damage off. Okay, that killed our unit. That was a risk. I was thinking if we got the 4, and it was a good chance of getting the 4, then we potentially had a good win there.
Come on, everyone, look alive.
So now we are a little bit behind, but I'm not... Well, I wouldn't say behind. I think we're less ahead.
Perfect form takes sweaty practice.
So they can potentially gravity well this, but I tried to put this in a position where they can't pull the 2 together as easily. So if they pull everything in, it doesn't blow up yet. So I tried to put this behind the wall. It was not behind the wall. But hey, if they come in and attack here, we at least get to attack back first. They got indestructible. That would be useful. Yep, nano shield, okay. Okay, I'm liking this list. I definitely need to learn the game a bit better. But now they've just pulled themselves into the mine, which I feel seems a little less useful. I was about to say I feel like this is going to be like a jailbreak or something, but... Okay, so we don't have anything that can even deal with that armor yet. Your Sentinel does a fantastic job though. So we are going to move back so they can't chuck us back. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to here. Yeah, I'm going to move to here so we can actually disrupt potentially even further away. Push it across. I just want to make the distance as far as possible between our models at the moment. Maximus is going to poke his head out here just for a slight chance at a hit. We know it's a very low chance here, so we're just going to try for the sake of it. We didn't get one, but I think he should be mostly safe. And then... Oh, we don't have enough Cinder. Okay, that's an issue, so we're actually just going to pull ourselves back here. Yeah, I hadn't accounted for that. So they've got 2 melee units, so this is a safer position for us. They can't quite chuck and co yet. We're going to gradually be able to chip them down. Our Vortex next turn can pull them away again. So this doesn't feel too bad, but it's not great either. Taurian Guardian needs to die. That is just a fact of life right now. 63, that's a pretty good chance. Yep. So I think Maximus is not long for this world. They've got a 3-drop. I'm hoping they play something we can either kite or damage. I think Maximus actually is not going to be hitting anything. I don't think that gravity well is good enough. It doesn't get them into range. It might get them in range to toss it, but that's just a minor inconvenience at best, and they're wasting 2 Cinder. So what we're going to do next time, we're going to actually play our Sentinel basically over here, because it doesn't get affected by the soft cover. So we can move around and try and just sort of set up some channels that they have to come into, especially with 2 melee units. Sure, they can potentially toss it for 1 damage. But that just moves us further away from both of their other things. Yeah.
Breaking records and hearts.
So we've got 0% there, 22 there. So we are better off just trying to hit, because if we hit here, we still get to move. We need to crit to do damage, but that's fine. Oh, I think it's changed. I think it used to be it had to hit the target. Now it has to damage it. We'll poke this for 1 in theory. Yeah. Move over this way. We're going to play our Sentinel over here. And reinforce. The question is, can I get in range? So they can get in range for that. I think we just save our movement abilities for next turn. They can... I think they can probably kill Maximus. 62%, yeah. Okay. So they're pushing us, and they're going to try and go for another orbital strike. Because what we're going to try and do next turn is just move further and further away from our flechette launcher. So we're likely to even use both our abilities to move further out and try and split up as much as possible. Even to as far as sort of actually splitting our full team up in different directions. So if we like move Maximus up here, hit twice, and then move to this corner, it does still kill us. I'm not really sure where to go from here. Okay, Broken Vengeance, yeah. So we've got our own Chuck and Co. So what do we want to do here? Maximus is going to struggle. So I think what we do is we put him up here to get the minus 4% chance and try and get a hit off on... I guess it's Taurian Guardian. It's not likely. No. What other chances have we got? 22, 53. So Broken Vengeance only attacks crew back, so we'll go for that. Didn't hit anyway. I think we're going to die to a orbital here. So what I kind of want to do, because Flechette is not in range of anything, but we can pull things in range. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. If we can get them all to here, this could work well. let our flechette launcher... So that hits 2 of the 3. So they're going to be able to bombard us. We don't want them too close to us. So I think we just take our hit on 2. And then maybe just disrupt. I don't think we can disrupt anything where we actually get out of range of everything. So I think just move slightly this way. So this might be keeping us out of range of everything getting orbitaled, but this might put him at risk. Because here we can potentially take 5, 8. Oh no, I forgot about the gravity well. Yeah, I think we've lost this. I forgot about the variability that I'm enjoying using. So I think it's very likely that we just lose here. Again, our flechette launcher seems really good here. We just didn't quite have the trading this time. I think we've made a couple of mistakes. We've lost it. Like, Taurian Guardian, again, MVP. Because, yeah, if this can get in range, yeah, we're absolutely just dead here.
Swiftly.
Because if Broken Vengeance hits, we're just dead to Orbital, and Broken Vengeance can get to point-blank range, pretty much. Okay, Chuck and Code. Yeah, then we're dead. Oh, it was a good game, though. I say, I'd definitely be going for the... guaranteed damage. I wouldn't be risking the orbital and going for the flex play with the like 1% miss chance. Well, that was a really good series of games. I think that's gone fairly well. I quite like the list. I'm actually still happy about the inclusion of Blindsider Eztli in there. I really like the thought of drawing Axel Pyro. Like in these games, Axel Pyro would have been great. In fact, there's nothing here. Looking at this list, Chuck and Co is the only one that I feel a little bit sketchy on in that matchup. But I think everything actually went quite well. Maybe we could have just used double movement to run away with our captain next turn, survive, and just rely on them running into the flechette. But overall, I've had a lot of fun with this. So I want to know what you think. Have I done anything wrong? Have I been doing something that I should have been doing differently? Obviously, there's a few misplays that we pointed out. But also, I'm going to be trying to make a few more videos along these lines and try and figure out what feels right for me as a competitive deck, as a competitive list. So not everything's going to feel right, and I'm the sort of person that what I enjoy for competitive probably isn't the most competitive technically, but there's still a lot of fun to be had. So this is our next list. Let me know what you think. I might do a few iterations in the next version and have a bit of fun with that. Make sure you do all the regular YouTube things, so like, subscribe, just drop me a comment, let me know what you think on anything, and other than that, have a good day.